Well, it's funny what kind of people are attracted to. You know, I'm just trying to keep the main thing. The main thing is that's basketball, trying to win games, sticking up for my teammates.
Making it known, like if the refs aren't going to handle it, I will handle it.
Yeah, you know, I think that's just who I am. It's my personality.
Caitlin Clark just made the most surprising play of her career, and it wasn't on the court. Everyone was hyped about her $25 million Nike deal, but she did something nobody saw coming. She turned that whole spotlight onto her teammate, Sophie Cunningham. What happened next? It shook up the WNBA. It redefined star power.
A top WNBA pick, Caitlin Clark, her first pro game, 10 days away, but even before she makes her pro debut, she has a major Nike deal on the line.
Look, this wasn't some last-second shot. This was a power move. Nobody saw it coming. It didn't just shake up the WNBA, it actually silenced the whole league.
Well, Caitlin Clark could be breaking another record, this time with an endorsement deal. The Associated Press says Clark will soon be signing an 8-year, $28 million contract with Nike.
So Caitlin Clark just signed a massive Nike deal. We're talking $25 million. Yeah, $25 million. That's the biggest WNBA shoe deal ever. It's even more than some NBA vets get, and she did it just a few months into her rookie season. That alone would have been huge news. But Caitlin, she didn't stop there. She totally flipped the script. The real twist wasn't the money. It wasn't even the fact she's getting her own shoe. The real jaw dropper, what she did next, and it had nothing to do with herself.
Referees, are they ever gonna call a foul? Y'all gonna call a foul? Did you swallow your whistle?
Here's what happened. After signing the deal, Caitlin invited her teammate Sophie Cunningham. It was for this low-key Nike event in Indianapolis. Sophie probably thought it was just a brand party, maybe a quick photo shoot, but what she walked into, nobody in the WNBA had ever seen anything like it. The room went dark. Then a short film started playing. It showed Caitlin's whole journey from her Iowa days to the crazy WNBA season. All the buzzer beaters, the critics, the sold-out crowds, her doubters, and the people who stuck by her.
This is their best record in over 10 years.
And then Nike gave Caitlin a custom jersey. It was gold-stitched. The kind of thing only legends get, but Caitlin didn't put it on. Instead, she turned to Sophie. She looked right at her and said, "This isn't just for me. This is for every woman who shows up, fights hard, and protects her team." That's when it clicked.
So it's really hard to develop a boldly disruptive shoe on Zoom.
And then rolling that into what will be her shoe later.
The thing is, Caitlin didn't just ask Nike to celebrate her. She told Nike, "I want Sophie with me for this." She doesn't take favors for granted, and Sophie, she was right there.
This was, I believe, Caitlin Clark's last game in the WNBA. And then also, of course, the WNBA All-Star Game had 3.4 million viewers, and that's the most watched WNBA.
So, a box came out, and inside, a custom Sophie Cunningham sneaker. Player edition, in Indiana Fever colors, of course. And on the heel, stitched right there. No backing down, but wait, there was more. Attached to the sneakers was a contract, a sub-deal, all under Caitlin's own endorsement. This was all Caitlin. She used her own deal, her power, to give Sophie a piece of the spotlight, a piece of the pie. Think about that for a second.
When it comes to attendance, when it comes to viewership, when it comes to jersey sales, when it comes to merch sales, it's going to be the biggest that we have seen.
Because in this league, players fight for contracts. They fight for attention, for minutes on the floor. Loyalty? It's rare. Sometimes it's even risky. But Caitlin Clark? She didn't forget. She remembered who stood by her when the pressure was on, when the lights were brightest. Other stars might have celebrated alone. But she made this quiet move. It spoke volumes. It said, "If you ride for me, I'll ride for you." So why Sophie? Specifically, why her?
You gotta speak up and speak out. At this point, they don't even care if we speak out.
Caitlin Clark, currently the face of the WNBA. Yeah.
Listen, when Caitlin came into this league, it wasn't all cheers. She stepped into a media circus, a super physical game, and non-stop drama, especially from players like Angel Reese. and Carrington. They were constantly trying to knock her down, but one player was always there, right beside her, taking fouls, pushing back, speaking out. That was Sophie Cunningham.
But she did it in a way that she wasn't going to injure JC. She was just making it known, like, if the refs aren't going to handle it, I will handle it.
Sophie became Caitlin's enforcer. She did the dirty work. She stood in the fire so Caitlin could shoot freely. Caitlin didn't forget that. She didn't wait for a marketing team to tell her how to say thank you. This was about respect, about loyalty. It's rewriting what power looks like in women's sports. And Nike, they weren't just buying her jump shot, they were buying the story, the culture. Caitlin doesn't just put up numbers, she moves people, she sells out arenas, breaks records, and she leads quietly, boldly, with actions that shake things up, without saying a word. That's why Nike beat out Adidas, Puma, and Under Armour. They saw what she could do on the court, but more importantly, what she could build off it. This move, this $25 million deal, with that side of selflessness, it might be her biggest assist yet. And now, here's where it gets really emotional. Grab a towel, pretend it's allergy.
She's number 1 and 2 in every offensive stat. She's hitting more threes this season than Steph Curry did in his first NBA.
So, Nike hands Caitlin Clark this incredible jersey. Gold stitched, custom made, it screams royalty. The kind of thing you frame. You hang it next to your trophies. Everyone's clapping. Cameras are rolling. The whole room is buzzing. It's screaming, Caitlin, you made it. But she doesn't put it on.
What you're going to do when you come into our house. It was an intentional foul. It was a hard foul. She brought her down.
Nope, Caitlin just holds it for a second. Then she turns to Sophie Cunningham. It was the calmest mic drop in sports history. She says, "This isn't just for me. This is for every woman who shows up, fights hard, and protects her team." Let that sink in.
Her ability to step up in big moments. When the bright lights are on, Caitlin Clark is also on.
Then she reaches into a glass display case. Sophie still has no clue what's happening. Caitlin pulls out a box, and inside, a custom Sophie PE sneaker. Fever colors, obviously, but on the heel, stitched in bold letters, a phrase that only Sophie could own. No backing down.
This was, I believe, Caitlin Clark's last game.
And that's not all. Plus, right next to those sneakers, a contract. A real one. Under Caitlin's own endorsement. This means Clark used her Nike deal to create a sub-deal for Sophie. Not just a shout-out, not a promo, an actual business move. It brought Sophie into the brand deal. Officially, let's just say Sophie was overwhelmed. Tears. Shock. It was that moment where you realize someone saw everything you did when nobody else was watching, and they didn't just remember, they made sure the whole world would know.
Not blame Sophie at all. Like, I have her back.
Now you might be asking, why Sophie? Why would Caitlin, the biggest rookie name right now, use her first huge endorsement to spotlight someone else? Well, here's why. Sophie has been that teammate, the one who jumps into every scrap, the one who talks back to reporters when they step out of line, the one who takes fouls you don't even see on camera just to keep Caitlin safe, just so Caitlin doesn't hit the floor again.
So we know the new Caitlin Clark Nike shoes came out, and they sold out. It was rumored that 13,000 pairs of Caitlin Clark's new Nike basketball sneakers were being sold on June 30th.
And Caitlin didn't get this far alone. She knows that. This league is full of egos, bruised elbows, cameras catching every side eye. But Sophie, she stayed solid. She wasn't chasing headlines. She was chasing protection, chasing trust.
Maybe I'm biased here, but I'm going to give you guys my straight up honest opinion on this. She bear hugged her, took her to the ground. Yes, it was intentional. It was absolutely intentional. It was, to me, payback for what was happening the entire game.
She became Caitlin's unofficial bodyguard, her muscle, her don't mess with my rookie enforcer. If you watched even a couple Fever games this season, you saw it. Every time someone tried to rattle Caitlin, Sophie showed up. Sometimes she literally threw herself into traffic.
Making it known, like, if the refs aren't going to handle it, I will handle it.
And yet, Sophie never asked for credit, never went on a rant, never made it about herself. So Caitlyn did. She once said in an interview, "People talk about the plays I make, but Sophie makes the plays no one sees." And in that Nike room, she made sure everyone saw. But here's the thing, this is bigger than just two players, bigger than a pair of sneakers. Because it's never been done before. We've seen rookies land huge deals. We've seen veterans cash in, but no rookie in league history has ever taken a monster deal and used it to put another player on.
Change. And not much is going to change until there's literally a shift in how they view the WNBA, how they view good basketball on the court.
So she just changed the whole blueprint. Caitlin Clark flipped the conversation about what power and influence look like in women's sports. She didn't flex by taking more. She flexed by giving more.
And I'm here to tell you, it is not a good moment in the fan base. Fans are quiet online. A lot of people are starting to look like they're reselling their All-Star tickets.
And the ripple effect. Immediate. Teammates were stunned. Alyssa Thomas. Yeah, that Alyssa was overheard telling Fever staffers she just gave Sophie the kind of shine most of us never get in our whole careers. And she didn't even blink. That's the part you can't fake. The unity, the way the locker room changed after that. Rookies started seeing loyalty in action. Vets started rethinking how to use their platform, and the whole team, they started walking a little tall.
Had other ads and things that came out, but since then it has been cricket.
And this wasn't just a business play. This was a culture reset. What Caitlyn did. It said loud and clear, if you ride for me, I'll ride for you. No ego involved. No marketing team spinning the story. Just one player using her moment to reward another's loyalty. That's rare, and in the WNBA, it's revolutionary. So yeah, $25 million is a huge number, but what Caitlyn did with it, that's priceless.
Caitlin Clark has created more buzz around the basketball landscape and has actually transformed and revived a league that was the WNBA, and she is getting paid a measly $28 million.
Now, here's the part where you really get it. Nike wasn't just buying Caitlin Clark's jump shot. They were buying a movement. Sure, Clark can hit threes from anywhere, but Nike saw something deeper beyond her logo shots and highlight reels. They saw a cultural force, a rookie who walks into a league full of politics, pressure, and big personalities, and decides to lead differently, not with flash, but with loyalty. Not just talent, but values. That's what Nike was really paying for.
Thank God they get Caitlin Clark. She's injured for 2 weeks. All of a sudden, attendance goes down.
Because, let's be honest, what rookie in any sport looks at $1 billion brand and says, I'll sign, but I'm bringing my teammate with me? That's exactly what Caitlyn did. She told Nike, if I'm wearing the swoosh, I want Sophie Cunningham next to me. And Nike didn't just nod, they embraced it. Letting Caitlyn include Sophie? That wasn't just nice. It was a marketing masterstroke. Loyalty sells. Sisterhood sells. Authenticity? That's gold, especially in a sports world full of scripted PR and empty slogan.
Her ability to step up in big moments. When the bright lights are on, Caitlin Clark is also on.
And now, get ready. This move just opened the floodgates. Expect new campaigns built on trust and grit, not just speed and stats. Nike is already rolling out a Built for Each Other commercial featuring Caitlyn and Sophie, two teammates, one story. A message that goes way beyond the court. There will be loyalty-themed ads, behind-the-scenes footage, and most importantly, merch with meaning. You won't just be buying a shoe anymore. You'll be buying into something personal, something real.
Continues to prove her worth on the court every single time she steps on the court. And with that, she had a huge impact on elevating her entire team yesterday.
You don't really get to be a dog and get to that platform where you get to bring a national title, the first one back to LSU, without having that type of mentality, that chip on your shoulder. And I feel like we have to let these young women be unapologetically themselves.
Plus, yes, the limited edition Sophie PE sneakers are coming. That's right. For the first time ever in WNBA history, a player is getting her own sneaker release, tied directly to a teammate's deal. That's how historic this is. The sneaker itself Indiana Fever colors, with no backing down stitched on the heel, like a battle cry. You already know fans are going to grab those the second they drop.
Caitlin Clark running the show. Caitlin Clark running the offense, being the innovator of offense, the distributor of offense for the Indiana Fever.
What's crazy is what Caitlin is building. It goes way beyond shoes and screen time. She's launching a mentorship program for girls in underfunded communities, especially those who love basketball but don't have access to courts or coaches or even a safe place to play. And this isn't some quick charity stunt. Caitlin has been working on this quietly, behind the scenes. She wants it to be sustainable, local, and deeply personal. It's going to involve clinics, training, gear drops, and real one-on-one guidance from WNBA athletes, including herself and Sophie. So make sure you like this video and subscribe for more updates on the 2025 WNBA season.